Okay. Anna Katrina, please feel free.
Hi, Isaac.
Hi. I'm just trying to get myself. It went to full screen now back. Cool.
Very happy to see you.
Yeah, beautiful to see you too.
There's so much love.
Yeah.
So I like to share something. What really helped me in my hometown, we got a group of the unvaccinated on Telegram, and it's about already 350 people. So
Great.
And now we divided it into little groups, and we meet every second week for a walk.
Yeah, fantastic.
And that's like Miriam said, you feel then this feeling of together in the same boat, or it helps. So
for sure. For sure.
And,
and even you can do some dinner parties. So instead of restaurants, you go to each other's homes and you try each other's cooking or whatever the thing is, so yeah.
Yeah, and we share which doctors are still willing to treat unvaccinated people, and or where can
all that
you
information. Yeah. Fantastic. That's good news.
Yeah, and for me, the situation is I decided to go to Mallorca next week. Still, we can fly. We don't know how long. And I'm going to stay there until Christmas.
Oh, fantastic.
And in Spain, you don't have to have a test to go to the hair cutter or to the restaurant or some things like that. So I think it's much easier. And I think it's a different energy than here in Germany. Here it's
fantastic. Yeah,
really tough.
Yeah, nice to be kind to yourself like that.
And Julia was very happy when she heard that I'm coming for such a long time. So
nice. Please give love.
Yeah, sure, I do. Yeah. So this networking, I find this very important, and
definitely
for me it helps so much. Yeah.
Bring that to Mallorca when you go there too, and start getting little groups there.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I don't know if I'm still able to work or not. But I decided I don't want to be afraid of no working. So, and not to complain, oh, can I work? Oh, then I can't stay in a hotel. I can't do this. I can't do that. I mean, I have to decide, how do I want to live? That's the main point.
Exactly. Yeah. I think what's I think what's also starting to happen in Australia, and probably will happen everywhere, is that some businesses are saying, look, everybody's welcome. Doesn't matter whether you're vaccinated or not. And I'm sure some hotels will do the same. And even, taking whatever risks are involved like that. I mean, it's inevitable, it's like, so we'll see. I mean, it really is very amazing times, my God.
Thank you, Isaac. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for showing up here. It's beautiful that we can meet and support each other like this. Yeah, please, Miriam, go for it.
Before the demonstration this Sunday, there was a lot of fear going on and I saw a post of a guy I know in Holland, and he's very awake, but he said, I'm very afraid to go because I have the feeling something bad will happen during the demonstration. And sorry, I'm not used to talking so quickly. I have to
take your time, slow it down. It's okay.
I have to slow down. I can't do it any. Oh, so I'm slowing down. Yeah. But so he was talking about fear stuff, about attack or chemical stuff. It's really a little bit scary. And I can feel the energies a lot more and more since I live in nature. It's very, I'm very well tuned, something like that. And I felt the darkness, or I felt the fear, and I felt the same threat, like, ooh, it can be dangerous to do that. And something Anna-Katrina said, that's why I want to share this. And then I felt like, yes, but I'm the manifester of my life. I'm, I can decide what you always told us, or told me, Isaac, is that live from the inside out, not from the outside in. So I could see the whole discussion going on in his Facebook thing, like, don't go. And I said, yes, I don't want to be led by fear in this. So, and to be honest, I could feel the same vibe he was talking about, but I was like, I decide to go and live in light and in love, and nobody is gonna, that's my decision. And so I go like that to Amsterdam, and it was perfect. And it was not so happy as the time before, because it was raining and a lot of people were quiet, not singing, but it was really, and I could feel like, wow, I'd really decided how I want to live. And that's the big step every time, to make that little step or big step to decide, I'm not gonna live like that. I'm not gonna do it. It's there. I'm safe. I'm okay, And I had the same experience this summer when I went to France twice without any testing, and I needed testing, and I was like, I don't know, but I just need to go to France, and I'm not gonna play their game. I'm just gonna go, and I will see. And I went over 4 borders, and I was like, sometimes my mind was, oh my God, what are you doing? I was like, I just need to go to France, and it's all fine. And I went to France twice, and it was really great. And I had a great time, no problems at all. And I was like, wow. So that's, I think, for me personally, the big process of really feeling my own power and just go and just trust and just be that, and just live from the inside out. So that makes it, for me, very much more easy to distinguish what to do every time, just to feel that what wants to happen, what wants to go, and I just go and I trust. So I don't know. I just felt like sharing this with you.
Yeah. One of the books that inspired me was this book by that Frenchman who lost his eyesight just before as a young man, and he was a young man at the time of the Second World War, and he organized the French resistance, a big part of it. And because he was so sensitive, anyone who wanted to join had to come see him first. And he could feel if it was appropriate for them to participate. And when he finally did get arrested by the Gestapo, he knew exactly who had betrayed him and then he ended up blind in a concentration camp where, people were so desperate they would steal the food off his plate. And yet he didn't lose perspective. Even in that, he stayed true to love, you could say. And he
Yeah.
survived it.
Yeah. And be on the demonstration, for me, it was not about two groups or anything. It was about being human with everything. There were a lot of people there who were vaccinated and they don't want to play that game. So it was not about, and that's what they want us to talk about and see the world like. There are two groups. Now they're not two groups, they're people. And if you feel human, your humanness again, and what it is to be really human together as well, it breaks the spell. It's just gone. It's just a sensation. It's for me. And
that tendency to go into them and us, is strong, and to see that it's really not necessary. It's like
and that's if you get there
heart prayer
together,
of wishing everybody well.
And I think more and more people are there, and they just want to live like that, very simple and human and dignified, and okay. That was my okay.
Yeah, thanks, Mirja.
Yes, thanks.
Isaac?
Who's,
Lorianne.
Lorianne, please, yeah.
That thing that you've mentioned about information overwhelm, I could feel my system it was really contracted in about June, July, and I'm just plugged out of everything and just allowing the information to come that needs to come. And it does.
Yeah.
Because Sandro's,
for sure.
he's fascinated by the whole movie. So he's keeping tabs on what the various characters are doing. And that's really helped, that living inside out way. And I just got to the point, like last year, 2 of my kids are of age where they can choose whether they want to be vaccinated or not. They're out of the house and they're over 18. And my daughter at university was quite like, if they're going to stop me getting my degree and what I want to do, I'll consider it. And I've shared my views, and then I released her. And somewhere in that process, she then came back and she had a complete turnaround. And she was like, that's abuse and that's rape if they stick that thing in me. No.
Yeah.
So noticing like this process in me of surrender of what other people's choices are theirs, I don't know. Even the ones closest to me.
Yeah.
And yet my field, like in South Africa where I live, is it's a small town. It's a ruralish community. I live on a farm. And in the small town, there are pockets of people who are feeling pressure, but it's not overwhelming. Friends who are living in the cities are feeling it from every side. And yet here in my reality, wearing a mask is not in my reality. Nobody in my family, including my parents in their 70s, have had the jab. There's no pressure. It's like we're moving on in a way that's open and connected. There was an art festival in our town launched. It didn't run last year. It launched this year. And at the opening, 80% of the people weren't wearing masks. And those who didn't like it and were feeling threatened left.
Yeah.
So it's just like the sense of Africa does as Africa will. And the majority of the people with darker skins are like, we don't trust the government, no. No ways. We'll sit back, and all the white people, especially the wealthy ones who've got a lot to lose, are all like following the agenda. Those of us who decided, well, if the shit really hits the fan, I'll go live on my friend's farm. I'll build a cob house and we'll grow vegetables. And like, what do you choose? How do you choose to live? And I've just, something inside of me is like, I've chosen to choose, well, not chosen, not that choice is a thing, but like, I will honor the natural way of living, even if it's got to be really simplified. And that felt
Understand.
like a huge process of like really unplugging from the financial system and the healthcare system and all the stories that I met that were terrified of, oh, you don't have a medical plan. And I'm like, but it doesn't make sense because they're forcing something on me that I don't want. So I'll go to friends who have alternative skills and use them. So that's just a little like overview of what's happening in my reality in South Africa. But what I'm meeting, and it comes in waves, is like this, the story or the felt, it's not a story, it's just like a heart cracking. As the narrative unfolds, people will die. And I'm not even looking at the jab. That feels like an old narrative. I'm looking at now the financial system's really crumbling, or the food supply being, like that's for me much more edgy, the food supply. If people don't have food, we do weird things. And I'm like, whew, just that level of meeting the grief and then the surrender and the fear. And that's where I value this being able to sit with you and being able to sit with Pema, who also like speaks it straight up as it is. To go like, so what am I knowing on the inside? What am I connected to on the ground? Have I had my hands in the soil, really in the soil? The literal earth as well as the emotional earth, the mental earth in this body, to just feel that ground, so that the pressure on the outside didn't feel like it's making me freeze. And today my awareness is that sense of loss or grief that's beyond me, just watching the story unplay, or unplay, play, unravel. The sheep and the wolves and the bodhisattvas, like who do we choose to be?
I mean, it always, when I would come to South Africa and go to the game park and you watch the predators hunting and you watch the prey, and like, who do you vote for? Do you vote that the predator gets a meal, or do you vote that people, that the preyed upon manage to get away, and you just watch it and you just see it's just nature doing its thing, and it's really difficult to have a judgment about it. It's just like watching it.
And the invitation to constantly meet what's arising, no matter how uncomfortable it is in body or mind.
And I love what you spoke, is like, I guess people have been through world wars and invasions and all kinds. And some people just have a sense that they will survive. They'll do what it takes. Whether it's, like you say, living really simply, starting to do what it takes to, be self-sufficient. And some people, you could say, it's too much for them, and their system just goes into overwhelm and giving up, you could say. So it's like, and I don't think that's a choice. It's just something where either your system grounds itself and knows, look, what comes, at some point we've got to meet our own death or transition, whatever you want to call that, and I'm okay with that, or I'm not okay with that. So.
And it feels like most days I don't have a choice. There's days when I wake up and it's like, oh my goodness, I don't want to be here. And there's days when I'm like, this is a lot, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay. Sure. Yeah. Anyway, just wanted to check in with you.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Laurie.
Thank you for the space.
Yeah. Mahima, please.
You hear me?
Yes, I do.
So this past week, I kind of had a couple of weeks of kind of feeling pretty more even. And then I wrote to you and told you I haven't, my doctor is a naturopath and I don't go all the time, but I went in August and he can write prescriptions, but he doesn't really use that much in his practice. And he's real careful on what he puts on any literature out. He doesn't use the word COVID and things like this, because he got a letter saying if he treats COVID with anything other than what the AMA or the CDC says, he could have his license taken away. So, but he doesn't ever wear a mask, and it's been good over the last year and a half. I've gone off and on just for general health, and he gives protocol. And he said that last year that COVID was the easiest thing he's treated. He said most people 3 to 5 days, they're done, unless they wait till like the 5th or 6th day and they're having breathing problem. Then he'll say, I don't do that. I don't have the equipment. You need to go to the hospital then. But if people catch it right away. So I hadn't been in about a month and a half, and I went in and I don't know what, I just said, how's it going? It's been really busy. And then I said, well, this Delta thing that's going on. I said, I know we talked last time and you didn't seem concerned. He goes, I'm very concerned now. And he said, I says, because it's very contagious. And he said, well, it's more than that. He says, there's more, it's more, he didn't use the word dangerous, but that's the only word that's coming. It involves more than just what he's been using. So the people that come in that have the Delta variant, he said, I don't really use antibiotics. That's the only thing that is helping them. So then I asked him, I said, but you've been well? He says, no, I've been spiked 3 times. And he sounded like he had a cold. I've never known this man in 30 years to be sick at all. And he's not afraid, So he gave me just my normal protocols for some things I deal with once in a while. And then, first he just said, here, he says, these are the things before you go out somewhere, you take these things, between 1 and 4 tablets of each of these. They're supplements, And then he says, then when you come home, you take them again. And depending if you're going in a crowded place or just to the market, you can, vary, you tune into your intuition. So, okay. So I go out to the desk, and his significant other, she's the office manager, and she's there. And I said, and I knew she had been spiked before, and he treated me for that once. And in 3 days, I was okay. And he said, and I said, have you got spiked again? She said, no, we had COVID last week. And I'm like, you had COVID? The doctor never told me that. And I'm standing there, and I didn't go into fear at that time because the doctor didn't say they had COVID. He said he got spiked 3 times. And she said, well, I have pneumonia. And I said, oh, is that contagious? Because she's like standing right. She goes, well, no, it's bacterial. It's not contagious. But when I came home and looked on the online, it says that it can be contagious. So she prepared all my supplements in a bag and everything. And I left there and I went on a walk, and then I had to do some grocery shopping, came home. And I did look up and like I said, it says that it can be contagious, the bacterial. But I really would have appreciated a call from them to say, hey, you can come in the office, but we did have COVID last week, because I don't know. I mean, did they get over it since last week? And she has pneumonia. And I've always felt so comfortable going there. And he's taking off about 4 weeks between now, just in intervals. I have a feeling he said that it's getting really bad and there's going to be more variants. And he's not doing the vaccine, you know, he's the anti-vax, but I have a feeling that he's going to close his practice, which I'm feeling kind of a loss around that.
See, so I can just say, look, I'm sure at this point there's lots of different perspectives on what you're talking about. From what I've seen, I've seen some, I'd say, pretty world-renowned experts saying that the variants that are coming, and what always happens with viruses is that variants come and they're more contagious, but they're less strong.
Well, that's what I
So-
said to him, and that's what he said last time. He said, now, no, he's not finding
Yeah.
that. So,
But again, it's hard to say. It's just like that's one person, and I'm just seeing, I'm seeing videos of doctors from all around the world, and I'm also seeing, like in India, where they had these, huge number of people dying. They've handed out ivermectin, and they've pretty much there's no more COVID cases.
right.
So, it's hard to know exactly, but this is, I have friends that live in India, and that's what they're saying too. But that's, what people that are checking on what's going on and reporting it on, it's hard to know who to trust at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot.
Yeah, and I did feel, well, he didn't say they
Yeah.
had COVID, but she did. And I just felt like I would have liked to have known so I could make that choice,
Mhm.
maybe wait a week, or something. And the other thing is when I woke up this morning, I felt like I was having kind of a sore throat and my eyes and all this up here. And I don't feel great tonight. I mean, I have all the things I'm taking. So I've had some fear arise, this morning and today. And I don't want to have the fear, but, I have more fear now, I think, than I did a year ago. I don't know why. And he told me that, he says, I feel that's your intuition. He said, he's not going out as much as he was. And they flew to Mexico. They went on all kinds of trips last year. He's not afraid. But now he's very cautious. So I don't know. This is just his experience, maybe, with the people that's come in there.
Yeah, I mean, and he's been exposed to sick people on a constant basis.
Yes.
So yeah, but again, if I look at it, if you look at the statistics worldwide of people that die of cancer, people that die from smoking, people that die of prescription drugs, and the number of people that die from so-called COVID, I mean, it's like minuscule compared to these other things.
Right.
And, like car accidents, and I mean, there's so many other things, and yet we think nothing. We get in our car and we drive. But this has been blown up so much. It's like, in my view, that's the way I see it. It's just like, my God, it's like, so I know that the difference between being afraid, which hammers your immune system,
Yes.
and just, okay, look, if it's my time, I'll say thank you. I've had a great life. It's and fear. Okay, what is it? Something just in our system starts to vibrate, and it's like, what is it really? It's like, does it help in any way? Does it interfere with our really seeing clearly? So for me, it's like, if fear had to arise, it's worth just sitting with it and just, okay, what is this? Curious, not trying to get rid of it, not making it personal. It's just something's arising and the system is vibrating or whatever you want to call it. And okay, and then it gets translated that's fear, and then I'm afraid. I mean, it's just like you watch how it functions. That's all.
It's so quick too,
It's
like,
it's
wow.
quick, yeah.
Yeah. And so then to slow it down to get, I mean, I appreciate the reminder, to slow it down and just kind of watch it. And I do that sometimes, and other times it's like, I should be doing something, more than I'm doing or whatever.
So, with this doctor, he sounds like he's a person of integrity, and I doubt that he would have told you to come in if he thought it would be a risk to you. So I know that it probably would have been nice if he would have, you're still there. It would have been great if he would have, been forthcoming.
Yes, because
But
he
at the
never
same
said they
time,
had COVID. He just said,
Yeah.
I got spiked. And then she says, oh, we had COVID last week.
Or maybe they have different perspectives. Sometimes it is like that. And
Yeah.
in couples, they see things differently.
Yeah. So yeah.
If you're not, and if you're not feeling well, if you have access to ivermectin, start taking it. Because that.
Yeah.
It's
I've
pretty-
been meaning to go on one of the sites where you can get it, and I've postponed it because I think I'm not going to need that. So,
Mm.
and I guess a lot of people.
If you're concerned at this point, it's pretty cheap to have a little stash at home, and if you never use it,
The
great.
3 milligram one, is that what most people take?
Yeah. I have.
Anybody knows, write me into that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I probably should get some. Wouldn't hurt. Just like if we store up on food, maybe we don't have to have it, and we have it just in case. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's strange, So my daughter wants to come visit me in November. We can go to this outdoor restaurant, which will be cold, and we can have a visit. She's traveling all over. She's vaccinated. She's going to get the booster. I don't feel comfortable with that. I don't know. Maybe I'm too paranoid. That.
To me, it seems to. I would say it like this. Even in people that got comorbidities and all that, the number of people that die from COVID is really small. I mean, it's like a very tiny percentage.
Mm.
And the key to me is whatever your circumstance, do what you can to boost your immune system.
Oh, I do. Yeah.
That's all. I mean, the rest of it is.
I mean, that's why I go to this doctor. It's because he's. I am taking a lot of things. I just put together all my stuff tonight. It took me an hour and a half. I set it out for 2 weeks in these little things and that. But it's. I think because I live alone, and the people around me mostly are vaxxed. I don't really. So if I did get sick and I needed some help, I'm pretty much alone, and it's a little scary,
Yeah, so there your mind is playing tricks with you again.
Yeah.
There you are with people that are just present as best as they're able. And don't let your mind play, if possible.
Yeah. Yes, go to the place. I remember you sharing with me. My assignment was to just go to that place of silence, and I've been doing that a lot. That it really helps,
Fantastic.
So I appreciate
Fantastic.
that reminder as well. I think it's when you mentioned to somebody how some of these things probably are triggering generational things or
Oh, for sure.
patterns that go way back. Because there's a part of me that just I'm not worried. There's that part. Like I don't, you know what I'm saying? And there's
Mhm.
then this other just in the system, and it's like, whoa, it's fast.
Mm.
Thank you so much, Isaac.
Mhm.
As long as I can still laugh, it's good. I've been listening to a lot of Papa G lately. It's been really, when you were telling some of stories of Papa G recently, it inspired me to listen to some, and he's very funny too, and of course very wise. And I can feel the grace, you know.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Karen, please.
Hi.
Hey.
Well, at first I want to say that I had COVID the last 2 weeks, and yeah, I found out that yeah, that it's hard not to believe everything what they say about it,
Mm.
because yeah, that's a pattern inside the mind that wants to go with it. So I have to have this and I have to have that. So I can recognize this, but still it's difficult not to to suffer from it. So that's it's getting better now, but yeah, for now I would say that yeah, for some people it's maybe better to take vaccine. I don't know if they want to survive because of all the thoughts that it's getting more and more a really heavy disease. That's how we all create something, I think.
Yeah, you know, it's something to be aware of, is that there's a huge underreporting of adverse responses to the jab. Huge. If people die within 2 weeks of getting the jab, they considered as if they're unvaccinated. I mean, how crazy is that? If they die within 2 weeks after they've gotten the shot, they considered as they died unvaccinated. So the amount of people that are dying is there's much more danger, in my view, from getting the shot than from COVID. And there's a number of doctors who say the same thing. Of course, there's a lot of doctors that are brainwashed, but yeah.
But in my view, you have to have a lot of preparation to survive this thing, because yeah, if I didn't know a lot about herbs and stuff, I think I would be in the hospital too.
Yeah, so fortunately,
But,
you do know that. Yeah.
But that's not what I wanted to say. I just wanted to say that, yeah, that I noticed that it's a creation, and that we, as like every disease or everything, it's just that how much do you read about it, how much do you know about it, and it gets more real. But
Yes, for sure.
what I wanted to say is that if this all something bad guys, let's say bad guys, are planning, what is then the use of the good guys that are not vaccinated like us? So then we have the survivors unvaccinated and the bad guys that planted that. So how is that going to work in the future?
Either it's going to get either it's going to get very terrible, and they're trying to make it terrible. Like you can't go out, you can't shop, you can't take public transport, all this stuff, you can't travel. Or enough people will wake up and the people that have been perpetrating this will get the consequences of what they've done. Or something we can't even think of now. Let's see.
Yes, but I mean, if all the vaccinated people will die, and then we are all, so it doesn't make sense to me.
The whole thing,
and the bad guys that control us, but why would they do that? I don't. So my mind is not going there.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's hard to say why they're doing it. I mean, what I've seen, if you look at some of the literature that's been around for quite a long time, I mean, for many, many years, in fact, there are a number of very powerful, very rich, wealthy people that have a feeling that there's too many people on the planet, and that what we need is a one world government with them, not elected people, not democracy, those guys in charge, running things. And that's where the movement is to try and get to that. And so I think most of us know that the way humans have been living on the planet is not planet friendly, it's not nature friendly, and that we can't continue like we've been living. I think everybody knows that something has to change. And so, but how does it change? Nobody wants to kind of do that voluntarily, you could say. And the political system, politicians don't want to make those kind of moves because they'll get voted out. So it's kind of like a stuck, with the species going full speed over a cliff and nobody's doing anything. So these guys think they're doing something just to, at least some people will survive. Who knows though? I mean, that's just, so we're here and we're watching this movie, and it's moment by moment, day by day, just watching and listening to what your knowing says. And more than that, we can guess, I guess. It's like, yeah. I would say is, if you're lucky enough to be grateful for each moment and keep exploring that, then you're using your time wisely.
Yes, for now I cannot smell. I don't smell and I don't taste a lot, but
Yeah.
other senses will, yeah. For now it's so beautiful to listen to music.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
strange that how the system works.
Yeah.
I really like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Notice this and all. Yeah, everything. I
Yeah.
also had a big cry for 3 days about my mother that died, and so yeah, it's that to leave the system. And yeah, like any time that you are ill, it's if you use it wisely, like you say, it's a good,
Yeah.
can be a good thing too.
Yeah.
And also, I have now for half a year, I can still go to restaurants. It's like a stupid reward, but maybe it's useful just to be around, just to do something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm not so worried, to be honest.
Yeah. Fantastic.
I think it will come out good at the end, or there is no end. But I think it will be okay. Okay, that's it.
Sure.
So,
But to me, we live in this galaxies and universes. I mean, it's like, it is so big. You've seen pictures of where they show you, look, this is the Earth amongst all of these galaxies and planets and stuff. And it's just, it's so massive, so beyond imagination. And so to be in awe and just, wow, here we are. Eyes can see, sometimes the nose can smell, sometimes it can't, sometimes the tongue can taste, sometimes it can't. Yeah.
one
But
time
happy.
sorry.
Say again.
Now, one time I met somebody and he came to this great conclusion. He said, "We are just this tiny piece of shit in this whole universe." And
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks, Colin. Sylvia, have you taken over letting people in? I just saw that people are in the waiting room, but
I didn't take over.
okay.
You can allow, click on
Yeah.
admit everybody. Of
Okay, but
admit them all.
yeah. Anyway, it just says 2 people entered the waiting room, but it doesn't, view. I can see, okay.
And then admit. Yeah.
Okay. I guess I can see now. Okay,
Okay.
cool. In the hang of it. Please, Mama, go for it. I'm not hearing you. I don't know what happened. You are unmuted, but I don't hear you.
I had to put a headphone on. I couldn't hear Carmen. You can hear me now?
Okay, cool. Yes, now I can hear you.
All right. This whole thing about, oh, how long it will be, and the mind goes there. All of us probably comes in and out. What's come to me so many times, even since the beginning, is that in some ways it's an opportunity that with this, everything really is unknown. I mean, it always has been. And I think we didn't see it as clearly. So if you want to say that which is the self, the powers that be, is saying, yeah, a lot of you still thought you knew what was going on. you know how your life is going to go. And now you're seeing really what the unknown, more than ever, it's just right in front of you. It really is unknown. And you can talk to a medium or a psychic or whatever, and they don't know. It is. So I say, if you want to say spiritually, that word is so jaded in a certain way. There's big lessons for us in letting go of the questions of anything. I mean, I even in saying that, I know that I double back myself, and then the next minute I can be asking the question. But I see a big opportunity here.
Yes. And every moment and any moment that it just gets quiet, there's no problem to be found. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I do it with myself. And then if I have somebody that's calling and they're having trouble, and that's always grace for me, because then I have to be in that space, and then it's like we just breathe, or we're just together for a minute and say, oh yes, nothing's wrong right now. But it cracks me up so many times that it's always been this unknown, but we're just watching this big narrative now that makes it
Taking
so
a moment
much
just to
we're learning. I say learning, or it's not impacting. I don't know what the word I'm thinking through this, as I say, in a way, as an opportunity to I say deepen into what is real, or what is truly known, which is going into the peace, going into the silence, or whatever. And then you just move. And I know even getting out of bed, should I get out of bed? And then like sometime later, it's like the body's just moving, it's like I didn't have to make a decision. I love it when it's this grace just moves me. It's like, I mean, that's how I love to live, all of us do. So we have great opportunity.
Let's take a moment to just enjoy this moment. And as you're enjoying this moment, if you can find enjoying, just recognizing that in that enjoying, you're actually enjoying everybody that's participating in this meeting, because they're an experience appearing in you. So if you can just, you could say enjoying everyone, but it's really enjoying the sensations in your own awareness, in awareness itself. Just see what it's like to participate in life in that way. Simply, gently, no effort required. Love to all, peace to all. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for hosting the part that you did, Sylvie.